Hi, my name is Chris Hakala. I am the Director for the Center for Excellence in Teaching, Learning, and Scholarship, and I'd like to give you a few words of advice on how to prepare for finals. The first thing to consider with finals is that each faculty member has a different approach on what they're trying to get at with a final exam. You need to understand exactly what it is the faculty member is trying to get at with the final. And one of the best ways to do that is to read your syllabus, see what's in there, but also if you're unsure, ask your faculty member about what the goals of the final are. For some faculty, it's the third exam, in which case you need to prepare material, or the fourth exam for that last unit of material. For other faculty, it's a cumulative experience where they want to see how you tie things together. They require two different kinds of study strategies, and so you want to be prepared for whatever the appropriate strategy you need to implement is. If it's cumulative, you need to be able to think through the content throughout the course. That would require you to continuously sort of loop through the content and see how things fit together, and think about how what you're learning now impacts what you learned earlier, and how what you learned earlier supports what you learn now. That kind of integrative learning is what's required for a cumulative final. If it's the last exam, you need to look to see what the important concepts are, understand those concepts. It's still important to understand it within the context of the course, but it allows you to focus your studying a little bit more on a smaller amount of content. Now, given that we are in this weird world of COVID and some of the changes that are happening with the way that exams and assessments are being done, it's also really important to be prepared for whatever's coming with regard to your final. That means technology, make sure your technology is working, test it the night before, make sure everything's working right, find a good spot where you're not going to be disturbed, find a spot where you feel like you cannot be distracted by other things, and make sure that you're in the right state of mind for it. If a cup of water is what you need next to you while you do it, that's great. If a cup of coffee is what you need next to you when you do it, that's great too. Just be prepared and plan. Don't try to go into a final exam without preparing. Preparing by knowing what the course is going to be asking you to do, what the instructors can be asking you to do, what their goals are, how to set it up, how to prepare yourself, and how to create an environment where you can maximize your efforts. I'll say this. One of the things we know is that you have a limited amount of ability to pay attention or to think at any given time. If your attention is focused on trying to make sure your computer's working, that draws away from your ability to do other tasks. You want to have all of your attention devoted to doing the task at hand and performing successfully. So, with that advice, you should be fine. Prepare, be ready for what you need to do. Take the time to review the material in a way that makes sense for the content, and set yourself up in a good position.